Hello everybody. So I'm filming in my room at my parents' house, and you guys haven't seen this background or this room, and that's why. But first and foremost, all of the stuff you see behind me, it's like mainly my artwork and some artwork of other people that I really enjoy. So if you're interested in looking at more of my artwork, I'll put a link below for my Instagram page so you can look at all that. But that's besides the point. So, as you all have known, I haven't been making a lot of videos lately, but today I finally had an opportunity to be alone, and I just thought what a good time for me to share what I've been going through, because I know a lot of people are going through many things, whether it's challenging, enlightening. It all falls into the same kind of category, I suppose. But for me, the last few months have been drastically just super fast-paced, and like I said, change that is like going to completely alter my entire life. And the first one I'll say, I guess, is that I got married, which is probably going to be really surprising to a lot of you. The second one, well, that's a huge one, but because I got married to my lovely boyfriend, I get to stay in the United States, so I won't be doing as much traveling anymore, but now I get to find grounding. And then, but during this whole process, we've also been going through a lot of family, there's a cat right here, just so you know, been going through a lot of family difficulty, and it's really forced me to show up every single day, not only for you guys, but for the people closest to me, because when you're put under certain levels of stress and you're pushed to the limit, that's when you actually, for me, I've noticed, that's where I actually start to take my role, and I start to utilize my skills to learn how to be more compassionate, to listen, to understand. And so yeah, these weeks months have been very intense, and most often very actually painful. But like I said, it has shown me that you can choose to weather the storm if your desire is to keep growing up towards God, towards light, towards love. So I want to this whole video is probably going to be based on the phrase which my dad says all the time: love believes all things. Because so many people, and including myself, even, it sounds great that I just got married, but there have been major struggles for me, some that I will never disclose, but that have been extremely painful for me. And with the phrase love believes all things, it gives room for you to forgive, to look forward with hope. Because I know in my personal life, when one thing hits me hard, it's like my heart shatters and I disbelieve everything. I lose motivation, I lose hope for almost all things. I don't see the point in waking up or anything like that. So when you center yourself enough to quiet those thoughts of negativity and hopelessness, you can see that the universe puts certain things in your path for you to grow and for you to learn who you are. And when you believe, when you know that your essence is love, so love, I believe all things, then you have an opportunity to show others too that sorry, this cat is so cute. You have an opportunity to show others that you will always have room to learn to love them that much more. The more they hurt you, you can learn them that much more. And sometimes it's been interesting these last few weeks between my sister-in-law and I have been going through very similar things with our partners, I guess you can say, where things have happened where you feel like you don't know how to trust anymore. You feel like you aren't loved the way you want to be loved, and that it's not unconditional love. But through being hurt, through the pain, through the process of learning to forgive, to move forward, that's what unconditional love is. It's to be hurt and to forgive unconditionally, to love unconditionally. We're humans. The human condition is to feel sorrow, to even be stuck, to have our addictions. It's just the process of learning to let go of these addictions, our karma, or whatever you may call it, and to walk forward with faith, no matter how heavy or difficult or defeating it may feel. This is the purpose in life, is to keep standing up. It doesn't matter how many times you're pushed down, and it's ridiculous. Like, I talked to my dad, and there's an example I was just asking. I was just like, how many times must you forgive someone for doing something that's so terrible to you? How many times must you forgive? And then he goes, 76, 100, 150. It doesn't matter the amount of times. What matters is how many times you choose to stand up, to look at them in the face, to look past their sorrows, their addictions, their pains, and to say, I see God. I will embrace you as a God. And because we are humans with the human condition, we fall sometimes, but it doesn't make us any less perfect. And that applies to you and me both. Because I'm not just talking about those who have hurt us in our life. We're not victims. And we too have hurt people, and the reason why in your life you will notice that people hurt you, at least I've noticed, is that it allows me to relate to the pain that I inflict upon others sometimes. So it allows me to be more compassionate, and it allows me to say, this hurts so badly, I don't want to do this to another person. And I know it's like a terrible cyclical cycle. Repetitive, I'm sorry. It's a terrible cyclical process, but it teaches both people what unconditional, compassionate love and careness is. So, what's important when you go through heaviness, just like many of my other videos, try your best not to dwell in it. You're allowed to feel it, to be with it, and to become acquainted and realize what it is, where it stems from. Feel free to do that. Just don't let it control you. Don't be a victim to it. Because it's, at the end of the day, it's trying to teach you who you are, and that always points towards that we are loving beings. We are entities that emulate light. And so our quest on this human path is to keep going forward, to not get stuck. And what's important when you're feeling like you're getting stuck is to bring in light, even though it's like so difficult and heavy. And for me, I just like open the blinds in my room to quite literally, physically bring in some light, because that can change things. And I was talking to my sister-in-law's mom about just life and heaviness it may bring sometimes. And she was talking about journaling and how it's so good to release, to write what you're going through, whether it's painful or if you're angry, whatever it may be. Write it all out. But don't ever forget, at the end, you need to close it with gratitude, with a hopefulness, because words have power. And if you close that in a book and shove it away, that's like manifesting things that you really don't want to. So it's like, release all you want, but fill that hole, that void, back with light. And in Peru, after my ayahuasca ceremonies, my shaman taught me that, and it was so important. It's like, you can release all you want, but if you're not filling it with light, more negativity is just going to keep coming in. And I've come to this realization that I journal so much, and I never close it with light. It's always just negativity, release, and it feels great. But is it really helping me if I'm not sharing the moments where I have gratitude and where I appreciate and where I feel hopeful and joyous? I really want you guys to see this kitty. Come here, Spot! I don't if you can see her. She's so little. She's my niece's and nephew's little kitten. Spot. But I also, this is going to be kind of a long video, but I also want to remind you guys that everybody, as you know, struggles, and what you see on the outside and the surface isn't always what you think. And because, for instance, many social media, like famous people, just anyone, just because someone posts something where they're smiling and they're happy and they're writing a quick little, oh, it's a great day, doesn't mean people don't experience similar things to you. And it doesn't, why I'm saying this is because oftentimes when you compare yourselves to other people's lives, first it's misconstrued because that's not really the truth what you're seeing. I, for instance, want people to think I'm happy for some odd reason on Instagram and Facebook or whatever, so I post very positive things. And even if I cry an hour before, I'll post something making it seem like I'm 100% okay. But, I know that's not always great, but that's for you to know, don't compare yourself. You are only you, and what you should compare yourself to is the level that you want to be at, not what someone else is at, not what someone's not at. So, I guess that's like the main part I wanted to say is, yeah, so don't stick on to social media, because I know all these like YouTubers and all these people post such enlightening and happy things with their like significant other, or they're traveling and they're super happy, and like everybody struggles, whether you want to admit to it or not. And we're here, at least I'm here, to try to be as real as possible and say, I struggle. Yes, I have a beautiful partner, my boyfriend, my husband, who's just absolutely loving and everything, but that does not mean that we are so well off, that we are so happy, because we struggle so hard sometimes, and like many, many other people. So don't feel alone, and make sure that when you have these moments where you have the capacity to give to another person and to share and to relate, do that with them, because people need to be understood. They need to be able to feel like they can relate. And so for me, I try my best to be vulnerable and be transparent. Obviously, I'm discreet about a lot of things that I specifically go through, but for the most part, I try to be really vulnerable with how I feel each day and what I experience to an extent, because I know it helps other people. And showing, it's not a weakness, but showing where you struggle and where your addictions lie, where you have self-esteem issues, whatever it may be, it allows other people to know that we are humans and we're here to assist each other and to be compassionate and to learn from each other and to not judge and to be loving and to remind ourselves that we are, don't get the guitar, we are loving awareness at all moments, even when we feel down. Spot's crazy. Even when Spot's biting my face at nighttime, I still love her the next day. But yes, try to remind yourself, I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I forgive myself. I forgive all other beings. And I hope to grow and to always get up and try to find the light within myself and others. So you can say any little mantra or prayer, because like I said, words are powerful and they can really help you move past any type of stagnation. So thank you for listening, and I genuinely hope that you guys are doing your best to keep growing and to keep learning and loving and moving forward. And I always appreciate your beautiful comments, and I think that's it. So, peace.